Hi guys, this is Mrs. Foy, and this is a quick tutorial about how to do this science takeout activity about lead and the dangers of lead. So hopefully you have already watched the video about the problems with drinking water in Flint, Michigan, and in some other communities in our country. And so this activity is talking about a young student who's 5 years old named Santiago. And this was taken from a real case and the names were changed. So this is actually a real thing. Facilitators make sure that, that everything in this activity gets read aloud, okay? Because that's important. So the first thing you're going to do in the activity is you're going to test Santiago's blood. And everything is all organized for you. You're just going to take one little tiny test strip. So you're just going to take one of these little tiny test strips. There are a couple of them together. I only have one per class, per group. So please don't lose these, or don't use more than one. So what you're going to do is, this is Santiago's blood. Now, it's not really his blood, it's simulated blood, but you're going to dip it in, and then you're going to test his blood, and then you're going to compare the color change to this chart up here to see what his blood levels of lead are. And then the question on the activity is going to ask you as a healthcare provider to see what kinds of effects that level of blood will have on Santiago. And so then you're going to go through part 2, and you're going to answer some more questions. And then in part 3, you're going to try to figure out where Santiago got some lead poisoning. And so in another little container, you will find a sample of the drinking water in their house, the dust in their house, the pottery in their house, their plates that they eat off of, and also the soil around their house. And there is a corresponding labeled little pipette that goes with those 4 samples. Okay, so these little push caps have a sample in them. And so obviously you know about contamination, right? So you're going to take a specific one of these that matches. So for example, this says water. So you're going to use the water pipette to take a little bit of a sample, just a couple of drops out of here. And then there is a little place where you're going to test the pottery, the soil, the water, and the dust. And so you're going to add a couple of drops, just 1 or 2 drops on each of these, using the sample with the correct pipette, so you're not going to contaminate. And then you're going to take one of these swabs. So you're going to have 4 different swabs, and you're going to touch the swab to each of the samples that you have put here to look for a color change. A color change means positive. And that will be able to tell you, it's kind of like a detective. You're going to find out where this lead came from. All right. So at the end of the activity, you're going to put everything back. You may throw away your swabs, and then you need to put the samples back. Make sure the lid is on so it's not leaking out sample, this little push cap. Put the lid back on, and then you're going to put the little pipettes that go with each of the 4 samples away. You're going to make sure that the little the test strip that you used, you can throw away, but there should be other ones in here unless you're in period 10. That goes back with the blood. And then everything goes back in this bag, and you're ready for the next class. All right? So hope you enjoy this activity. I think you will. Bye.